Well, it sure seems like the third temple is coming. I know that everybody has their own personal opinion on this matter, whether this is significant or not, but the fact remains they are pushing this agenda on forward. As we can see from this article right here about a huge step forward on Jerusalem's Temple Mount. I'm not going to read the entire article to you guys, but give you some notes and highlighted points. But in this article, he goes on to talk about how there has been progression on the Temple Mount, how before Jews could not even go near it, and then they could go near it, but they couldn't pray at it. But then we had this right here, August 12th of last year, 2024, when Jews were for the first time allowed to prostrate fully, face down, arms and legs extended. And he goes on to say, quote, "You can feel your heart pulsing against the earth as you pray. Your lips are almost touching the pavement," he added. "This is a whole new and fully embodied avenue of soul expression that has been closed to our Jewish souls for 2,000 years. It's not just the fact that Jews are not praying at the Temple Mount. We can also see that they are raising their Israeli flag there." Now, this article goes on to talk about how this could indicate that the political and undoubtedly spiritual climate is changing enough to allow the building of the third temple. And then we have David Herzog, co-founder of the Glory Zone Ministries in Phoenix, Arizona, and who conducts regular outreaches in Israel, posted a video earlier this year in which he discussed how the decisions Mr. Golden Dawn is making in regards to the Middle East could be paving the way for the rebuilding of the third temple. And then he goes on to talk about how there are certain rabbinic movements, including the one that runs the Temple Institute in Jerusalem, that want to see the third temple built on the Temple Mount. And then Herzog shared that he recently spoke with a friend who has connections who confirmed that there are plans to start building the third temple by the end of 2025, with a completion date of somewhere between 2030 and 2032. And then, of course, in this article, we have individuals comparing Mr. Golden Dawn to the Persian King Cyrus, who famously helped the Jewish people return to their land after the Babylonian captivity and rebuild their temple, and peace reigned for a period of time, allowing this to happen. Now, in 2018, we have the Israeli Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu, linked Mr. Golden Dawn to King Cyrus. And then Herzog argued that Mr. Golden Dawn's agenda is peace and prosperity, with a desire to build on the Abraham Accords of his first term in the Middle East. We have this quote right here: "It looks like a short time of peace and prosperity, a couple years under the Golden Dawn administration, for Israel to fulfill end-time prophecy. That's what it looks like is happening." And then the article concludes with this right here: "Things are happening fast," Herzog said, "with respect to potential end times events. The temple possibly this year. I don't doubt anything, especially with this administration. By the end of this year, it could be announced that they are going to start building a third temple." Now, of course, take this information with a grain of salt and seek the Lord for all discernment and wisdom. While I have your guys' attention, I want to add how there is just an increase of events rising right now. So on top of this third temple talk, we continue to see escalation with Russia and Ukraine after the drone attack that Ukraine implemented upon Russia. We now have this right here, where apparently Putin has ordered the Strategic Missile Command to prepare the RS-26 missiles. And again, as we can see right here, breaking: Russia places nuclear forces on high alert. So they are unconfirmed apparently, but mounting reports indicate that Russia's strategic nuclear arsenal have been placed on high readiness. So apparently strategic silos and mobile units are being activated. Command posts linked to Russia's nuclear response chain are now on elevated status. Satellite data hints at unusual military activity near known warhead transport routes. I guess according to this report, from analysis, they warn that this level of readiness hasn't been seen since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, what does this mean? Well, it means that we are entering uncharted territory. Global leaders are on edge. The line between conventional war and something far worse is paper thin. The world is on a knife's edge. Here's some statistics on these missiles that are being readied. Apparently, they have a 1,000 to 5,500 kilometer range, capable of targeting Europe, but not confirmed for the US reach. Apparently, the payload carries up to 6 MIRV warheads, supporting nuclear or conventional payloads. They are highly accurate. Their intercept resistance, they are highly resistant to most air defense due to speed, and they reach hypersonic speed of Mach 10 to 11. Well, isn't that lovely? And with this growing escalation after Ukraine's attack upon Russia, we have Putin's top negotiator, Vladimir Medinsky. I guess everybody is named Vlad over there. Simply replied to questions about what they're going to do in response, and he said, wait for tomorrow, which coincidentally coincides with impeccable timing that we have this long duration M8.1 solar flare, which produces strong Earth directed CME, which is expected to hit the Earth later tonight into tomorrow. Talk about crazy timing. And on top of everything else going on and the beast system rising with the artificial intelligence takeover, we have none other than Mr. Golden Dawn trying to distract everybody with this nonsense right here. You can't make this up. With that all being said, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, you know what time it is. You understand the urgency of the hour. So with that, I wanted to encourage you guys with Revelation chapter 19, verse 7 through 8, that let us be glad and rejoice and give him glory, for the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his wife has made herself ready. So clearly this is in the future after the Great Tribulation, but we can see in verse 8, and to her it was granted to be arrayed in fine linen, clean and bright, for the fine linen is the righteous acts of the saints. So now with that all being said here, I'm going to leave you with this question that you can take to the Lord. What is the righteous acts of the saints? When you take this question to the Lord in prayer and meditation, then seek the Lord for him to then produce those righteous acts in you to then come outwardly onto others, walking with love, walking with grace, walking with mercy in all humility, with the fruit of the Spirit pouring forth, resting in the Lord, understanding your identity, that you are sealed and redeemed, born of an immortal, incorruptible seed, praising the Lord for the rest of our lives. Praise him up high, guys. He is so good. Gratitude is everything right now during these times. So everything going on, all the scary, spooky things, all the news articles, just remember who the Lord is. Remember that he has saved you and redeemed you by the precious blood of the Lamb, and that you can rest securely in him, that you can go to the throne of grace boldly and seek him in an intimate relationship. With that all being said, guys, I love you all so much. God bless. Remember, the just shall live by faith.